What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, episode 62, and we are the Nintendo podcast, a part of the 8-Bit Collective. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and joining me, as always, is my best buddy, Bryce DeWitt.
Hey there, buddy.
Hey. We're here just after the Nintendo Direct. Bryce, straight off the bat, what did you think?
50-50.
50-50? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was okay. It was there was a few nice announcements in there, but overall, there's a lot of stuff we already knew, sort of padding it out.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. A lot of the stuff that we already knew is stuff that was a victim of the delay more than anything, because the publishers of those games were like, oh, hey, we need to get this out now. Or Nintendo were just like, we need to put out some form of news in order to keep people interested, so...
Yeah, stuff like that Pokemon bundle and things would have been an interesting thing to put out in this Direct, but we already knew that from, the announcement last week.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So all up, they went over 46 games and also 3 lots of hardware, including 2 Switch bundles. So there was a fair bit in there. And there was a fair bit that I enjoyed too. So they started off with Luigi's Mansion 3, which I actually thought was just them talking about the remake of the original on the 3DS, so I was sort of just like not paying that much attention until they actually said afterwards. I thought it was just like a cinematic trailer or something.
Yeah, I don't know. The graphics looked pretty improved. I was like, there's no way that's 3DS, right? I was almost expecting Luigi's Mansion 1 and 2 port to begin with, but then they mentioned it was 3, and I'm like, well, I guess so. That works for me.
Yep. Then they mentioned Kirby's Epic Yarn is coming to the 3DS. So
I don't know why this didn't happen before. Like they did Yoshi obviously quite a while ago. Just feels like Epic Yarn is pretty much like fit for that system in every single way. Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion 3DS has a 2-player and amiibo support. They mentioned a game called Yokai Watch Blasters that's out now, and then that was all of the 3DS stuff. Really, they only mentioned about four games for it.
Yeah,
sometime next year.
Most of it is stuff we knew. So
yeah, I don't think we knew about the Yokai Watch Blasters. But that's not something that's necessarily on my radar. So
no, that's already been announced.
It has. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Having the 2-player in Luigi's Mansion is pretty cool, though. That'll be an interesting concept to sort of go around and verse bosses and play it that way.
Yeah, no, I'm not denying that. I think that'd be cool, but at the same time, like, I've already played Luigi's Mansion. I'm probably not going to pick it up on 3DS. There's not a lot of point for me, honestly. I think that's probably the disappointing thing about not having a 1-2 mashup collection for Switch. Is I haven't played 2 either, and I probably should, but I haven't. No.
It's a lot of fun. It's really good.
Well, yeah, that's what I'd heard, but Luigi's Mansion is Luigi's Mansion, Yeah.
Fair enough.
Playing through the first one as it was, like I enjoyed the first one, but around the time that 2 came out, I believe there was other things that were on my radar. Yeah. So I never ended up playing it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I didn't actually get through it all, but played about probably 3/4, I think, in the end.
Yeah, right.
No, it's good fun. I liked how it was. They had like a big variety of the different types of mansions. Sort of shook it up a little bit more.
Yeah. See, I wonder if they'll do that again in 3. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, not sure. It'd be sort of. It is nice just having the one mansion, like really sort of having secrets and that to find in the one place.
And fleshing it out.
Yeah, fleshing it out a lot more, rather than just having it sort of level-based, I guess, or mission-structured, how they had it in the second game.
Yeah, no, I suppose so. It's just the variety gives you a bit more of a different theme, depending on where you go.
So, yeah, that was all the 3DS stuff, and they moved into some Switch stuff. Splatoon 2 version 4 is coming soon, and I really enjoyed sort of the anime opening trailer.
It was literally an anime opening trailer.
It was really good, yeah. I love how much fun the developers are like obviously having with this game. It's really really fun to see.
Yeah, for sure.
I haven't got the notes of like all the weapons and things they're adding, but there's a fair few cool looking weapons in there, like a big mallet looking thing, and
yeah, they also had the shake up grenade as well.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how that works, whether it's a cluster type grenade, because it did like a bunch of popping in a particular area, so I don't know whether it drops smaller grenades the more you shake it or what.
Yeah. They also had like the intro to the splat zones, and it had like times 100. I don't know what that's about. Do you know what that would be about?
No, I have no idea.
So that could be interesting. I don't know if it's like a match if it goes on forever until like one team has 100% of the ground or something. I don't know what that is. Could you imagine that? That would be a nightmare. It'll never end.
The only thing I could think of is that each team has 100 deaths.
Mm.
And that's the only thing I think of.
Oh yeah, but that'd make it more like deathmatch, really, wouldn't it?
Well, it would, but like it's kind of at that point with Splatoon where you think that Splatoon would have a deathmatch, but it doesn't.
That'd be a lot of fun, actually, a deathmatch in Splatoon. As much as I love splat modes, I think like just having it. Almost making it a normal third-person shooter would be a decent mode, yeah.
Yeah, no, well, I'd have no problem with it. I think basic team deathmatch is like, you know, the stock standard, and I think that most shooters should have that. And it took a lot of shooters in recent history a while to do that. And for example, Overwatch didn't have a team deathmatch for nearly 2 years.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so. Yeah, about now's the time, really. They could be implementing this if they want to just have a more standard mode. Maybe a Battle Royale mode would be added in this version.
Oh, don't tell me that's what it is, times 100.
Oh, splat zones with 100 people.
Yeah, 100 people, everybody drops in, you're last one standing.
Hey, I wouldn't be opposed to that. But
100 different colours.
Yeah. What color? Yeah, they've run out of colors, wouldn't they? Because they really try to avoid red and brown and stuff. So you'll have to be like the brown person spraying the brown ink around.
Oh, yuck.
Then they went into Mega Man 11, sort of just saying the same old, really. I quite enjoyed the Mega Man 11 demo. So apart from a few smaller things, which is probably just my ability more than anything. Then they went into a Mario Tennis update, so we're getting Birdo, Shy Guy, Koopa Trooper, and Petey Piranha on an update September 19th, a day after the update, or same day as the update. I think it's a day after. Yep. You get those by playing online, so they're trying to encourage you to play that game online, obviously, with the to keep the community alive. So that's why I appreciate for free too.
I appreciate the free content, but. You know, Mario Tennis hasn't got me hooked back into it since I bought it on launch.
No, it hasn't got me hooked back on it either.
No, I'm not sure what they can possibly do to get me rehooked, because they're just kind of like, oh, we'll release characters and keep moving forward, sort of thing. But I don't know. I just feel like that there's a lot of stuff that they need to implement to like flesh the game back out and give me a reason to play.
I mean, that's what they're trying to do, but. You know, I don't think it's enough, unfortunately. But
locking characters behind it isn't really. I wouldn't say that's the smartest way to do it. Because like as much as like I'd go in and play the online and play a couple matches or whatever, it's just locking characters right behind a ranked system and then having them release. I think they said it was like a month later.
Yeah.
It's kind of a pain in the ass. You know.
Yeah. Oh well.
I know that they're free and they're free to do with whatever they want with them because they're free. But you know, you start getting into matches in the next season against characters that you don't even know how they work because you can't play them, and I think that's kind of a turn off, honestly.
Oh well, you don't have to play it. It's all good.
Yeah. Well.
Capcom are releasing a Capcom beat 'em up bundle. Coming September 19th with online play. So I actually didn't get down all the games included in this, but it's a bunch of old arcade games remastered and with online play.
Capcom's old side-scrolling beat-em-up games.
Yeah. So
and I think there was 2 that was exclusive to arcades and haven't been on console.
Oh, really? That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always
like,
cool when they do that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I can get behind little collections and whatever, but I don't know what the cost is going to be of this thing. If it's 40, if it's like $40 or something, that'd be cool. If it's not $40, then it turns out to be a full price title. It's a hard pass, and I'm not going to buy it.
It can't be a full price title.
Well, we say that, but
yeah, I know, but it can't be. It won't sell, I don't think.
No, yeah, well, that's it. That's the way I think about it, anyway.
So, Bryce, this is your favourite announcement. They announced New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe.
I just don't care. Keep going.
Oh, well, this was a game that came out on the launch of the Wii U, and it was pretty much one of the only things from Nintendo where I was like, all right, might as well pick this up. It's the it's the only thing apart from Nintendo Land Nintendo's releasing. So it was a good game. Played it a fair bit in the drought of the Wii U. Nothing else really come out for another at least 4 months. So I've already had my fill. I feel like it's a good game though, and people that haven't played it and are feeling like playing a 2D Mario, I think it's a good game for them, especially with the Luigi U sort of downloadable stuff. That was some of the best. I didn't play it myself, but a lot of people really liked it.
And I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to deny that the game had appeal. Shut up, phone. I'm not going to deny that the game had appeal. But my issue with it is that these games over the last 2 generations, New Super Mario games, they've just been shat out like turds.
Yeah.
They release them all the time, so now they're putting this one out. They had an heavy emphasis of being like, hey, you can have a 5th person play on the gamepad, and they can make platforms and all that stuff. Like, that stuff's not going to be present anymore. You're not going to be able to do any of that. I mean, you get a very basic New Super Mario platformer, but my issue with that is that they probably could have just made another one and given a Switch exclusive mechanics, I guess. It just feels a little bit lazy on their end, considering how quick they can. Well, they reckon it takes them Mario U took 2 years
to port.
No, 2 years to make.
Yeah,
and I don't believe that one bit.
Oh.
I feel like that game, for the most part, was mainly just off the same engine as pretty much every other New Super Mario Bros. Game, and they just added onto it.
Yeah,
I don't think that takes 2 years.
I mean, if they said it takes 2 years, I'm sure it took them at least around that.
Just 2 years sitting there developing levels, and so maybe we should develop a level today. Nah. Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. You can develop an amazing game in 2 years, and with the amount of money that Nintendo has and all that, you think that they'd be able to put those things out like every 6 months if they wanted. I don't believe that it took a full 2 years to develop.
Oh well, you can start off a conspiracy and go to Nintendo headquarters and ask Miyamoto himself. Get the truth from him.
I don't know. It's back in the old Wii U days. I kind of wished it stayed there. That's all I've really got to say about it.
I think it just stirred up bad emotions with you. I think that's why. Yes.
It stirred up bad emotions with me because I talk about the software on the Wii U all the time and how there's a whole bunch of great software. I just feel like this really isn't the type of thing that they should be focusing on. I feel like there's more stuff there to love.
Oh, it's coming out January 2nd, so it's sort of just one of those things you put at the start of the year just to sort of
push it through.
Pat it out a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So next up, they talked about Katamari Damacy? Damacy, yeah. So, yeah, that's back. It's got, I guess it's like a not a remake, but a remaster on the Switch with motion controls and multiplayer and stuff. So that looks good. It's good to see that come over. I've never played one myself, but I remember people were really excited about it on the Vita years ago when it come to that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You've got another handheld version.
Yeah, I mean, Katamari Damacy is a well-known game for a very particular reason. It's fun.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I'll take a Katamari Damacy port. I'm sure that, if I ever find it one day and I'm like, hey, I got a bit of money to spare and it's a little bit cheaper, I might even pick it up. It's just a game about rolling around, picking up shit, and it's kind of funny. It's weird and Japanese, and that's just what Katamari Damacy sort of represents. And, it'll be fun to play, I think.
Yeah. No, it looks good. So they went on to Nintendo Switch Online, which is information we, like us two personally, were really waiting for. We didn't really get anything out of it, though, to be honest. They didn't say anything new about it. Like they
really didn't.
They did show a bit more of the Nintendo Entertainment System, which is the NES games you'll be getting for free. It looks like it will be all available like in the one app rather than like a single games on your home screen.
Yeah,
which kind of surprised me. But yeah, looks fine. They just went through that it's online multiplayer, that you get NES games, cloud saves, which they actually used Luigi as the dummy for losing his saves, and
no, of course, yeah. Poor Luigi.
And after our cloud save talk earlier this week, it's kind of like, well, that's what we want it for, but some of the games we're not going to be able to do, but that's all right. They showed off the smartphone app, which was, I'm sure everyone sort of just rolled their eyes at, and special offers, which they said was more to announce, so we don't know anything on that just yet.
Yeah. I think that kind of annoys me more than anything, that they didn't say anything about that. We already knew about everything else to a degree. We obviously learnt how the NES games worked a little better, but I'm kind of happy that they're keeping it tidy and putting them all in one app. I'm behind that. It stops me junking up my Switch screen so damn much.
Yeah.
But yeah, as for putting that big old question mark block at the end of all of that, saying, oh, there's more to talk about later, that doesn't really sell me like a week before I have to buy it.
No, like I guess they do have an extra week if they're doing the free trial, but yeah, was that actually announced or was that just a leak? No, that was announced.
No,
wasn't it?
It was announced. Yeah,
that was announced. Yeah, so I guess they don't have to tell us everything. Like, just tell us everything we're getting. Don't say more to announce, please. Just go. These are the offers you're getting. Do you want to pay you $30 a year or do you not?
Yeah, exactly.
And they actually, after that, they announced that they're releasing a 2-pack of NES controllers that slide on to where the Joy-Cons go, so you can play these games with an actual wireless NES controller. Which is fine, it looks good, but they announced in the Direct that it's $60 which is, what's that going
for two?
Yeah, so for two, yeah, so that will be about 80 Australian.
80 to 90, yeah.
Which is friggin' ridiculous for a couple of NES controllers, like,
especially since you can't use them as a traditional controller either. Like, you can only use them for that type of stuff, really, because it doesn't function as a normal Joy-Con.
Yeah,
it's kind of silly.
Yeah, I definitely recommend getting like an 8-bit DOE like controller, like the replicas of the NES, SNES. They do like all the classic controllers. I'd probably recommend going and getting one of them instead of one of these. Like, if at that price, that's ridiculous, Nintendo. I know the Pro controllers, the Joy-Cons and all that are really expensive, and you can sort of go, okay, they've got motion controls, they've got Amiibo support, like they've got a fair bit in them, and they are the same price as like a Xbox One controller, which doesn't have that stuff in it. But yeah, an NES controller for that price is like, all right, you're taking a lend of us a little bit.
Yeah, no, I don't see many people buying this, honestly. People that buy this are sort of just buying into, well, they're just sort of buying into Nintendo's bullshit, because honestly, there's nothing wrong with the Joy-Cons, and like, I know that you would be doing things with the control stick or whatever and not a D-pad, but like if you're just playing a simple NES game and you're playing it on the go or whatever, having these controllers on the side of your Switch, like you're not going to be able to fit it in any of your current like pouches that have been on sale or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because they're bigger. Well, yeah, they are. They're slightly bigger and they're also off shape. So any protective gear that you might have bought for your Switch, including like cases or, you know, silicone grips for your Joy-Con or anything like that, it's not going to fit them. So it's kind of a throwaway thing for me. I think they probably should have thought more about this one. Maybe just made an NES special edition Joy-Con set or something, and just call it a day. Releasing these two really, let's be honest, really odd and questionable NES controllers that sit in the Joy-Con slots of your console. I don't think it was a very good idea on their part.
Yeah, like I don't mind the idea. It's just the price they're asking. I think it's like, all right.
No, the price they're asking is garbage without question.
Yeah, it's like, okay, like that it is good to have a decent D-pad on the Switch though. I guess that's the upside to it. But we'll move on from that. We won't head on to that too much. So this section is going to go by pretty quick because it's a bunch of third-party and stuff we already knew. So they talked about Pokemon Let's Go. They talked about Diablo 3 Eternal Collection. They talked about Super Mario Party. Actually, and a new RPG from Game Freak called Town, which is the working title. And this looks really cool. When this come up, I was like, oh, wow. Like Game Freak. Yeah, Game Freak have done other games. They've done like platformers. They've done rhythm games.
Harmonite, yeah. Yeah,
and them actually doing a different RPG is a lot more exciting to me than just trying a different genre.
I'm not sure how I feel about it still though. Like it's an RPG where the entire RPG is set within a town. Like from what I gather, you don't leave that town. The monsters come to you. So I don't know how I feel about that. It looks good, but is it a full price game? If it's a full price game, it's not getting my money at this stage.
Yeah, it depends how they work. If it's literally just a town and you just walk around it and it's like, okay, I've seen it and that's it. Obviously, that's not much fun. But if they really change it up and the town's really dynamic, and I think that could be really cool. And in our chat to our friend Riley, he actually brought up like, oh, this could be like a bit of the engine the next Pokemon game's running on too.
Maybe.
Could be.
Maybe.
Yeah. You could see sort of that dynamic sort of camera shifting, like on one of the characters on the bridge. You're like, oh yeah, I could see how the Pokemon games, even on the 3DS, were sort of doing that.
Yeah.
So, yep, that looks cool. Looking forward to that one. So that's 2019. Skitty Skylines, that's out now. I just checked the eShop. That's actually on there right now.
It is.
Yeah, it's on there now. What else came out today too? I saw something on there. Let me just click on that.
Final Fantasy 15 Pocket.
And that's 40% off right now.
What is 15 Pocket?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Does it come with the first free episode, or?
I presume it comes with all the episodes if you're paying for it.
Well, is it okay, so maybe it doesn't. Every other
episodes, the HD version is just the HD version.
So what's the price of it then?
So it's 27 at the moment, but it's usually 45.
Oh. I mean, I've played a portion of the Pocket Edition, and it's like it's a good way to get into Final Fantasy 15 if you want a shorter time with it, and you want to play something that's probably a little less intensive on the eyes. Like, it gives you the full story. It's all voice acted still. It's a lot more linear, but it gives you the same sort of experience for the story. But for 45, what was it? 45, you said?
Yeah, 45 full price. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I'll pass if I can't. I don't know how long that sale's on for, and I don't know how often it's going to come around.
Sale ends on the 20th, so
yeah, okay. Week, yeah. So, Look, I would pay. I would pay in the 20s for it, but I wouldn't pay near the 50s for it.
Yeah. 45 seems a bit much from just looking at the screenshots, but
Well, it's episodic. So on every mobile device that it's on and everything, you get the first 1 or 2 chapters for free, and then you can buy every subsequent chapter after that, or buy them all in a bundle. And of course, it's cheaper on mobile devices. Sure, it's not the same as owning it on a console, but it's just yeah.
Well, it was made for mobile, really. So,
well, yeah, it was, yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, the cost is less elsewhere, and it's not the optimum Final Fantasy 15 experience. If you just want the story and you want like some watered down mechanics of how Final Fantasy 15 base game works, then sure.
Yeah. So, speaking of the optimal Final Fantasy experience, Bryce, there were a bunch of Final Fantasy games announced for the Switch. You're a big Final Fantasy fan, so
okay,
I'm sure this whet your appetite a little bit.
Well, I got a infographic here that they actually released to go along with it. So this is good because Square are finally throwing their chips in. We've sort of been waiting for them to do it.
Yeah.
Square and Nintendo obviously have a very long-term relationship and always have. Like, Final Fantasy was first released on NES. And, you know, ever since, it's sort of just... they've always held some kind of a relationship through the years, but, you know, with the Switch, it's really taken them some time to come around and put things on. But anyway, so we've actually got 8 Final Fantasy games coming to the Switch. 8. Freaking 8. So, obviously available now as Final Fantasy 15 Pocket. So that's good. I've already had my say on that. We've got World of Final Fantasy Maxima, so it's the complete edition of World of Final Fantasy. World of Final Fantasy is actually a good game. I'm pretty cool for that. It's definitely a neat game, and if you're into a more light-hearted Final Fantasy, it's got a unique like topple mechanic where like the characters stand on each other, and like you gain more power the more characters you have stacked, but you also risk yourself getting toppled and getting stunned. It's kind of cool.
Was like the avatar change thing, was that exclusive to this, or was that in there before?
No, that was in there before.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, so like the whole garb of the game is that like you could switch between big forms and mini forms, and like that mechanic didn't really persist outside of well, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's basically just like your characters have a form outside of the book, and then inside the book they're small, and then you have different sizes of monsters.
Yeah.
And that's how the stack mechanic comes into play. Either way, World of Final Fantasy is a really good game, and if you're just looking for a real light Final Fantasy, it's definitely a lot of fun for sure. We also got Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon. It's like exactly what you would expect.
Yeah.
So it's like the mystery dungeon games, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. So Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon, everybody is basically just Final Fantasy themed Mystery Dungeon. You get a fan favorite, Crystal Chronicles, which everybody was clamoring because it was only coming out on PS4 or something at the time, but it's actually coming to Switch as well, which is great because
Sony announced it at their TGS. Yeah. So then afterwards, Square Enix come and said, "Oh yeah, Switch as well."
Yeah, which is good because Crystal Chronicles, like the gameplay of that game, fits Switch perfectly.
Yeah, looks
so.
Good.
Yep, there's that. We were talking about this before, but we're like a while ago now. But we are actually getting Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, so now Cloud and Smash Bros. Is actually for a reason.
yeah, it's crazy. We're actually getting Final Fantasy VII, so that's nuts. Obviously, Final Fantasy VII is a huge titan of a game. And you could finally play the game where Cloud came from portably, which I believe is the first time. So
you could play it on Vita through the PlayStation Classic.
Sorry, through the what?
You could play it on Vita through like the PS1 Classics line.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
This
on a
this,
Nintendo console.
Is
then.
this the remaster though, number 7, or is that?
It should be.
Yeah, it probably should be.
It
Yeah.
should be the remaster, but it's the first time on a Nintendo console as well.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. You know, Final Fantasy VII is such a it's a little bit clunky because it's quite old now, but it's definitely got one of the best JRPG stories of all time. We're also getting Final Fantasy IX. I noticed that they skipped 8 here, and I know why they skipped 8, but yeah, I won't go too far into that. Final Fantasy IX is supposed to be a good game. It's actually one of the only Final Fantasies I haven't played.
Huh.
So I can't really comment much on it, but you know, you hear from people all the time that it's a really good game. It came out near the end of the PlayStation 1's life, so it's a bit obscure.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X and X-2. Final Fantasy X was the entry point for PS2 Final Fantasies. 10 and 10-2 are both really well. 10's a super high regarded game. It's considered one of the best in the series, and 10-2 is its follow up. Not as high regarded, but definitely fun. And finally, we've got Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age coming out, which is one of my personal favorites. And I'm really keen to see it on there, and I will pick the hell out of that. I totally want that. So 3 of these games are out by the end of this year. And then the last 5 I talked about, which is Crystal Chronicles 7, 9, 10, 10-2, and 12 are all 2019 slated release.
Yeah, so that's a lot of Final Fantasy.
It is a lot of Final Fantasy, but you know, Square Enix really needed to throw their chips in. It was about time, and they had to do it big, so...
Well, I think they saw the success of Octopath. They're like, shit, looks like they're just getting a lot of their back catalogue just out on the Switch.
Well, yeah, and I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If they're releasing HD Final Fantasies and stuff, it probably should all be on there.
Yeah. So what do we skip to get to there? So we went past Daemon X Machina, sort of a bit more of that stuff. Saw a bit more gameplay of them getting out the mech and running around on ground.
Yep.
Looks okay so far. It doesn't necessarily have my interest, but looks.
Yeah, you know, I'm the same.
Yeah.
Like the mech combat looks way. No, I talked about last week how about I was playing X again, but like it looks like a real satisfying mech combat game or whatever. I'm playing X at the moment, which kind of fills any mech hole that I could ever possibly need. And
mech hole, all right.
My mech hole, and that I could ever possibly need, and you know, I think as good as Damon looks, I'm not too sure if I'm going to buy it. They haven't really convinced me yet, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see. This trailer this trailer made it look more pretty, but it didn't really convince me anymore that I need it.
Yeah, it's a game I'm not really thinking about too much at the moment, but come closer to launch and seeing reviews and that, I guess that's when I'll make my decision. I'm not really thinking about it now. There's too many games sort of just on the verge of coming out right now.
Yeah, looming overhead.
Yeah, so thinking about stuff 2019, I'm sort of not really in the mindset for it. So they also talked a bit more about Yoshi's was it Crafty World? Crafter World?
Crafted World.
Crafted World. I've written down Yoshi's Crafter World. I'm like, what? I must have missed the D. But this game looks good.
This game looks super pretty.
Yeah. So you can do levels backwards. You can that was pretty cool actually. You can just like turn around and do it backwards. You can sort of see stuff you might not see like doing it initially. Yeah.
I think the main thing is the 2.5D aspect. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background, but like also your progression forward. You're also like changing your paths and stuff like that, and manipulating structures with the eggs, which looks really nice. And I think overall, they managed to capture 2.5D so well.
Yeah.
Just in that trailer, like that's the first real big look that we've got at the game. and it definitely looks satisfying to play. So, you know, I can't wait for it, to be honest. I just hope that, you know, they can keep the game rolling in expectation, because honestly, we should have had this game a while ago. I think. I feel like there's been a big empty gap where we kind of needed this game.
Mm. Yeah, well,
and
it'll be interesting to see what their next year's lineup too, because there might be I dare say there's going to be a big gap somewhere next year that they're going to have to fill in with a game like this as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Civilization 6 is coming to the Switch. This was already announced. It was a really big announcement when they first shown it off. Was it last week sometime? So that's I'm not a big Civ guy, but I know a lot of people are, and having it come to the console is really good.
Having a portable Civ is the most appealing thing about it. So,
especially like the brand new one too.
yeah, exactly. So it's good to see Civ there.
They're showing off a bit more Starlink Battle for Atlas. Showing all the Star Fox team are in the game, as well as Fox. As Fox.
As well as Wolf.
Yeah, and they had Wolf at the end.
Is it bad that the only reason I'm interested in this game is because of Star Fox?
No, I think that's exactly what that's exactly what Ubisoft wanted, I think. Said, all right, we've got a brand new IP. Let's get people interested by chucking some Nintendo stuff in there, because Nintendo fans love Nintendo IP. So, showing off a bit more World Ends With You, showing off some new content, brand new story DLC in there. So that's good. Bryce, this is one for you. Xenoblade 2, Tournament of the Golden Country is out. Was it tomorrow? Is it?
It says tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure it's downloadable right now in Australia. This is the. I'm gonna flick on my Switch. Actually, I'll do that while we're talking.
Okay.
Honestly, this is the effect of like the delay. It's kind of put a bit of a hinder on this, because this is obviously out pretty much.
Like ASAP.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you haven't got the expansion pass, then it doesn't seem it's out yet, but it'll definitely be out later today. I've been super excited for Torna, so I'm very keen to get right into it and start playing again. But
is that what you're diving into this weekend?
Well, probably that or finishing X. I got to do one of those two things, and just try to do as much as possible. I don't want to rush Torna. I feel like I want to take a good couple weeks to finish Torna out, even though I'm not sure it's going to be that long. But part of me wants to just like smash it out and get it done, but the other part is also like I really want to enjoy this DLC, so I'm not too sure. But either way, it's out. It's going to be out by the time this episode goes up. You'll probably not be waiting too long before the DLC is actually out for expansion pass owners.
Yep.
Do note that if you buy the expansion pass now, it won't make a difference. So if you're interested in playing the new DLC, or well, I should say expansion pack, because that's what it is.
Okay. So you don't get it early if you're like, bugger it, I'll buy it now. Through the
No, you do.
You do. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. It's just a lot of the confusion that they didn't clear up was that they have a physical edition coming out for this, and the physical edition is slated for a week later.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Expansion pass owners can own it like right now, and to be completely honest, there's no point owning the physical. I think the DLC is maybe 2 gig. And you can access it from your main menu. I'm pretty sure the physical edition, that's on a completely separate cartridge. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just to sort of, like, obviously if you have the original game, there's no point. You may as well just download it. But if you're someone who's like, all right, I don't want to play Xenoblade 2, but I don't mind playing this shorter story, which is in the same world.
And it's cheaper.
So that's probably why.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I just feel like that. You know, if you can find Xenoblade Chronicles 2 at a decent price, then it's probably just better picking that up and then getting the DLC later on. The good thing about it is that like if you play Torna now, if you decide you want a taste tester and you pick up Torna instead of 2, Torna's set in the past of 2, so you won't actually be hindered by playing it. You'll actually know more going into Xenoblade 2 than you actually learn in Xenoblade 2. So nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So yeah, go and get that right now, guys, if you feel like playing it. So we'll just run through these other ones real quick. So we got Warframe, Just Dance 2019, FIFA 19, Team Sonic Racing, NBA 2K19, NBA 2K Playgrounds, Lego DC Supervillains, and yeah, that was it for that section.
Just literally a whole bunch of stuff that we already knew about.
Yeah.
They didn't obviously elaborate too much on it, so having Warframe come to the console is really good. I think it's another free to play economy sort of thing like Fortnite and Paladins. So I'm really glad to see that that stuff is all there and it's pushing forward and looking pretty good. So that's good. As for literally everything else on that list, you're probably not going to see much of an interest from me, so I won't talk about it.
No, probably not me either. Probably the one thing that has me a little bit interested is Team Sonic Racing, just because it's a kart racer, and I've played the crap
and it
out
looks
of Mario
alright.
Kart.
Yeah, they have a history of being decent games too.
Yeah, they do. Transformed was really good. Yeah,
they literally have a history of being decent Sonic games, and that says something. Because Sonic has not had a good run in recent years.
Yeah, like it's based around sort of like being on teams.
Yeah,
and I don't know how I feel about that, because that's a mode in Mario Kart, and I don't really like it in Mario Kart, so I'm not sure if this game makes it more fun or not. I was like, yeah, I have to sort of play it to figure that out.
Well, it's such a basic mode in Mario Kart, so I feel like they would have had to have done something, maybe put items in there that are team-orientated and stuff.
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
So, I guess we'll see, but either way, the previews make it look good, so I can't complain.
Yeah, and they did talk about 2 new Switch hardware sets coming out. So the first one was based around Super Smash Brothers, which had the characters from Smash on the dock, as well as grey Joy-Cons with the cross, and the download copy of the game, and also Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu was announced earlier this week, where they had a yellow Joy-Con, a brown Joy-Con, Eevee and Pikachu on the dock, as well as sort of Pikachu and Eevee sort of on the back of the Switch too, in sort of silhouette form.
Now, we talked about this before, but like the Pokemon one is okay, and I can understand why you would want to pick like the Pokemon one up. But if Speds keep coming out like the Smash Bros one, where they're like really uninspired and kind of disappointing, I'll probably never pick up a Sped.
Yeah, like it's very basic. They just got like white, like the characters are in white on the front, and grey Joy-Cons with like a line down one.
I just like how they're like, this is something that you'll want, and then they showed off the Joy-Con set. I'm just like, no, I don't want that for Smash Brothers at all.
It's like, I'm hyperventilating for Super Smash Brothers, but I could not give a shit about that Switch.
No, that Sped edition it's really disappointing. Like the Pokemon one at least had some substance. You know, it had like game matching Joy-Cons. It's got the Pokemon print along the back plate, and you know, it's got Pikachu and Eevee on the dock, which are a bit jarring because they're yellow and brown and black, and it just kind of looks weird. But nevertheless, it feels like more effort went into that than the Smash one. The Smash one just feels like a blatant shill. Because,
like, if I was buying a Switch now, I'd probably get the Pokemon one, to be honest. I quite like it, just because I'm a big fan of Pokemon, so any Pokemon stuff I'd like. And same with Smash Brothers too. If they made like a really cool looking limited edition Smash Brothers Switch, I'd be all over it. I'd probably go and get it.
Yeah, I feel you.
If they made a decent enough one, but yeah, this is like the bare minimum.
I was mentioning to you before we started the episode, actually. I just feel like an etched pattern. Like if you look at the dock, you've got the Switch logo on it. I feel like etched patterns like that on the actual dock and the Switch are probably more favourable.
Yeah.
The stuff that they're doing with it now, like what they did with the Pikachu and Eevee dock and the Smash dock, it just feels like they've literally just printed something out on their printer and they just went smack with blue tack on it.
Yeah, just like a sticker. Yeah.
Like it just looks like a decal that you can buy literally anywhere. I can go on eBay right now and find those decals for $5.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, if I was buying a Switch come December, I would probably go and get just the neon set rather than the Smash Bros bundle, because I prefer the neon colours to just the grey ones with a line on them.
I mean, I guess the plus side to getting the special edition is obviously that you're getting Smash.
Yeah. Get the game.
And if it's the only way, if it's the only bundle that they put out there that's bundled with Smash for a while, then you probably don't have much of a choice. So it depends on how much of a big of a Smash fan you are, whether you want to buy your Switch now and get Smash later, or if you're going to get that special edition, which is actually kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, no, it's really underwhelming.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then last of all, we saw a little bit of gameplay from Animal Crossing, which excited me straight away, and I'm like, oh, Animal Crossing. And then about 10 seconds into it, I'm like, wait a minute. This is going to be a Smash Brothers trailer, isn't it? Well, the trailer goes on, and she gets the letter. She's like, all right. You know what the letter's going to be about. Then, it goes right into it, and there's a trailer for Isabelle. She's in Super Smash Brothers. I didn't catch if she was a unique character or not, rather than an Echo. I think she is a unique character.
I'm pretty sure she's a unique character, and she just shares the similar theme, obviously, because she still has the gyroid, but it's in a different part of her moveset. She's got this stop sign thing going on, I think she's her own unique character, so I'm cool with that. I think, like, obviously there's a couple of games that still need representation, and Animal Crossing was one of them. Isabelle has pretty much become the mascot for Animal Crossing at this point.
Yep.
So I think it's perfectly reasonable to just sort of be like, well, let's who else are we going to put in there? And then people are like, oh, Tom Nook or whatever. But I honestly feel like Isabelle's got more influence at this point in time. Tom Nook's going to be Tom Nook.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. After the Smash gameplay, they actually showed Tom Nook was just watching Super Smash Brothers on his laptop in the dark.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. What are you going to do with Tom Nook? You're putting Tom Nook in there too?
But he's just like, no. Instead, he said that he's going to have to work hard to keep the place somewhere people want to live. And then it said Animal Crossing 2019 on the screen.
So obviously no name for the new Animal Crossing, just a confirmation that the game is coming next year.
Mm-hmm.
Which is all I needed, to be honest. I didn't need in-depth gameplay or a name or anything, but it is... I'm actually, after playing so much Pokemon Quest, having a game to turn on every day just to get my daily thing and do a little bit of grinding, I feel like Animal Crossing's the perfect thing. I want to just pick up, maybe check my letters, maybe go do a bit of fishing, turn it off, or maybe play it for 3 hours and just do a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Well, the thing is as well is that like now that our home console is portable and we can take it anywhere with us and play Animal Crossing anywhere, I think that was probably literally the best thing about Wild World and New Leaf is that like portability is such a good thing for those games.
Yeah, and hopefully with like Nintendo's emphasis on online with the Nintendo Online service they'll push Animal Crossing really hard, or not really hard, but a lot harder on the online front.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just, I'm really happy for because as much as I would say that I enjoy Animal Crossing, I wouldn't call myself a massive fan, but I'm happy for everyone that is. And I'll pick it up because I enjoy dabbing in Animal Crossing every now and then.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I do too. So I presume that bit of gameplay from the Animal Crossing game was actually gameplay from the Animal Crossing game, not just...
No, it definitely was.
And that's a smart way to sort of show it off without saying, oh, this is the new gameplay from the Animal Crossing game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it was definitely the new engine, you could tell.
Yeah. And it looks nice, like as you'd expect, Animal Crossing
on
Switch, yeah.
It looks absolutely fantastic, so, bring on 2019 and have another Nintendo IP come out, and, we've still got Bayonetta coming, we've still got Metroid coming as well, so...
Yeah, so there was a...
Gosh.
Now that I think of it, like, we didn't see anything from Metroid. A lot of people were hoping for the trilogy to come over to Switch to play before Metroid Prime 4 comes out.
Yeah, which I'm kind of hoping for it too, if I'm going to be honest.
Summer, yeah. Like, I want to go and play the first 3 games, but getting out the Wii to play them isn't optional. Playing them on the original GameCube isn't really what I want to do either, and emulating them isn't great either. So having them on the go would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing as well. But they'd need to revamp. Like, the issue is that Metroid Prime 3 is the biggest issue.
Yeah,
because of those motion controls.
They would have to heavily rework it, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, for sure. Which is the issue, unless they make it only a TV only thing, or something, or you wouldn't be able to play it in handheld. You'd have to play it in tabletop. No,
they can't do that. They would have to, they would have to redo the controls because even the Joy-Con pointing, it's not accurate enough to be controlling a third-person shooter with it or first-person shooter with it. Yeah.
Oh well. Hopefully they can figure out something and do something about it. I mean, either way, you do what I did the past couple of weeks. If you crack out your Wii U, the trilogy's on the Wii U for $27.
Yeah, like the Wii version. Yeah.
So if you really want to play it, and the option is still there. It's not gone away.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a copy of the trilogy. I borrowed it from a friend, and he never wanted it back.
He never took it back.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
So that brings us to the end, and we spent over 50 minutes just discussing the bloody 40-minute direct. So yeah,
shame.
We thought we'd be quick, but it takes longer than you think. It shows you how much sort of information they do pack in to these things.
Yeah, they condense it really quickly with video editing too.
Yeah,
like this podcast will likely go up unedited, but I bet you if we cut out like half the blank spots, we'd probably go down another for probably 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I asked some people on Twitter what they thought of the direct. Defer, his favourite part of the direct was those 3 sweet seconds of arms. He says, no, he said, no joke, probably the Final Fantasy ones. My childhood flashed before my eyes when I saw it. Also, what will be my first mainline Animal Crossing? Can't wait.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
So if you don't remember Defer, he was on our podcast a few episodes ago now. It's actually going really quick. And he's an ARMS commentator and professional player, which we had on episode 30-something. It was a while. It wasn't 30-something, maybe 40-something.
40-something, I think. Yeah. 42, maybe?
Yeah, well, that's a guess.
That's the number that springs to mind. I could be wrong.
If you're interested in listening to it, go back through our catalogue. It's pretty
hell
fun.
Yeah. It's a good episode.
Yeah. So Dane Peavy in the our Discord community, he said, highlights for me, Luigi's Mansion 3, new Animal Crossing on the Switch, and a shout out to those limited NES controllers for the Switch. That Smash Switch console looks amazing. makes me want to sell my Switch and pre-order. So his opinion differs a lot from ours, but
Yeah.
that's great. I'm happy he finds joy in the Smash edition of the Switch.
I just think looking at previous special editions that we've had for the consoles in the past, like even the 3DS and stuff like that, those special editions are so good.
Well, like the 2DS, the limited editions they're doing for the 2DS right now are like amazing.
Yeah.
Like I went and bought the two Pokemon ones, the Pokeball and the Pikachu one. They're awesome. They've actually got buttons for the Pokeball. They've got like Pikachu's cheeks and that raised on the front. They did like a Zelda one for like a Hylian shield. Like they're just doing amazing 2DS limited editions. Like they're doing it exactly how they should be doing it. Whereas,
yeah, exactly.
Whereas the Switch, like they've done Splatoon, they've done the limited edition Joy-Cons. Okay, that's cool. But I just feel the Smash one's just so boring. But
yeah, it is.
That's just me. I think I'm prone to like colourful things. The problem with the Smash one is it looks like it could be slapped on with a decal, and you know what? That's probably what'll happen. You'll find merchants that are just selling decals of it. Yeah. Well, I really want to find a decal for my Switch now. Well, my docks. I want to put stuff on my couple of docks I've got. So I'm like, yeah, that's actually pretty cool having like a. Actually, is it cool? I don't know. Coming to your house, like, what's that big black thing with the Pikachu on it? Like, that's my Nintendo Switch Entertainment dock. And last of all, Metadocs in the Discord community says, I was quite interested with Town. Looks to be a great upcoming RPG. Super hyped for Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion 3. Daemon X Machina looks great too. Better than originally thought. New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe is nice, although thought a bundle of all the new Super Mario Bros. Games would have been better. Also, Isabelle and Smash is awesome. I'm so happy for her. Because everyone views Isabelle as like an actual person. Like I feel like everyone really likes her. Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean by she's sort of become the mascot, because she's your assistant in New Leaf, and New Leaf was such a big game for Animal Crossing. Like heaps of people played that game.
Yeah, and she's just happy.
She is. She's just a happy little. She's just a happy little pooch whose head makes up the shape of a money bag.
It does too.
That's why her name is Isabelle.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I remember there was like a meme for that ages ago. So yeah, it is too.
Yep.
He goes on to say, Splatoon segment is probably the highlight for me. I love the anime intro style they went for. The new specials and 100x Turf World looks awesome. Can't wait for version 4.0. Super Mario Party also looks great. I feel like they should have talked more about it. Talked more about the online service though. They really needed more information. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nowhere near enough information for what we actually needed. We needed far more than just, hey, look, here's the exact same things we were telling you about months ago. It doesn't convince me yet.
Okay. Well, when it actually comes out, we'll probably have a huge discussion about what we think of it, why, like, is it good?
Yeah.
Like, it's also an online service. It's going to evolve over time, so new features are going to come. Some features are probably going to go. Hopefully, I'd love to see that app, like that app stuff. I wish it was just integrated into the Switch, but we'll talk more about that later.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys, that brings us to the end of the House of Mario episode 62. Bryce, where can they find you on Twitter, mate?
IV Revan.
You can find me at iDruby, and you can find the podcast at the House of Mario. We are on SoundCloud and iTunes. Give us a follow on SoundCloud, and if you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star iTunes review. It really helps out the show. Like I said before, we've got an awesome Discord community full of people. We've had Dane Peavy join us last night when I put out a link on Twitter, so welcome, Dane. I hope you enjoy yourself in there.
Have a grand old time.
A grand old time. It is a grand old time. It's one of... Every night I sort of go on there and it makes me feel good.
Yeah, I feel you.
Just people talking Nintendo. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And this week's Nintendo Jukebox, actually, before I get to the Jukebox, we are part of the 8-Bit Collective. 10 podcasts and 22 podcast creators, all putting awesome podcasts in your ears. Go and check them out. I'm sure they've got awesome content up this week. And Nintendo Jukebox this week is Animal Crossing New Leaf, 7 p.m. piano arrangement by Ambassador on SoundCloud.
Before we push on to the goodbyes, I'd just like to say nice save.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, almost missed it.
Good job.
Because the thing is, like, I like some weeks I nail it because I have it written down well in front of me. This week I do not have it in front of me, so I almost missed that. So yeah, that's the show, guys, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.